on the internet forevermore. I'm not deleting it for you.
I wouldn't even have an effort to find it to delete it, so it's going to stay there forever. Somebody's going to find that in like 10 years and get me fired from a job.
Good, frankly. The only way people like you learn.
People like me, fuck no.
Bigots. So speaking of Christmas...
Oh, Christmas.
I need you to settle first. You're only going to get more ready.
No, continue, it's fine.
You're only going to get more ready. The Christmas Chronicle.
The Christmas Chronicle.
1 hour and 44 minutes?
Yep.
Of Christmassy goodness.
Starring...
Well, Kurt Russell and some other people.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And what's his face? Morris.
Oh, Lamorne Morris was in it. But to be honest, I'd rather
not enough.
I'd rather, to be honest,
Not enough.
putting him in the credits teased me. It's an interesting thing because... No, we should get that when we get there. But
really?
Is he not more famous than that? Or is that a sign of the fact that actually television is now such that he's not? Is being in New Girl for I'm not sure, for 7 years?
Yeah.
2012 to... Yeah.
And New Girl's big. I mean, it's bigger than the one dude at the beginning that was in Rules of Engagement.
Yeah, but then in fairness, he was in it for not very much time.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But like comparatively, they probably weren't in it. There wasn't that much... that much difference between the time they were in it.
I didn't recognise the other guy. The other police officer.
No, I didn't recognise him either.
So it's weird to cast...
Anyway, hold on.
We are jumping
ahead.
You're right, yeah, we can get that.
Christmas Chronicle, Kurt Russell.
We should perhaps point out that this is not our usual setup.
No.
Which is one of us watches a film, the other has not.
No. We both watched this.
This is cooperative. Christmas will be a cooperative season.
Because Christmas is about family and loving life, which I am clearly all about because I don't hate anything.
Christopher hates Christmas, but his birthday is Christmas.
Is that Christmas Eve? Send me gifts. But yeah, so we're going to watch... December's going to be Christmas movie month, which I'm going to hate, but we're going to work...
You're not, because I've got some aces up my sleeve. Donovan's Reef is a Christmas film, and you fucking love Donovan's Reef.
We're going to watch Donovan's Reef.
We should watch Donovan's Reef again. Yeah,
watch Donovan's Reef again.
And then we should talk, because that's a Christmas movie. Features one of the greatest nativity scenes ever on film.
Oh, God, yeah.
Have you watched the Lethal Weapon movies?
I've heard of the Lethal Weapon movies.
Never seen the Lethal Weapon movie?
No, of course I've seen the Lethal Weapon movies.
Well, I mean, bear in mind, most of the films you mentioned I've not seen.
True. But of course I've seen the Lethal Weapon movies.
Why, of course?
Because they're awesome. It's like asking if you've seen Die Hard.
I have seen Die Hard.
The moment of concern. Anyway, we're going to watch Christmas movies for December, Christmas month. We started off with Christmas Chronicle, Kurt Russell, Extravaganza, Netflix original. I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I'm
really glad you liked it. I have avoided reviews.
Well, yeah, I mean, I went in blind as well.
But Twitter has shown me that some reviews have been quite scathing because you get the kind of headline. I know the Guardian's review wasn't at all nice. I don't know that the AV Club, I can't actually remember. I seem to recall at least scrolling past two quite negative reviews.
I mean, I haven't seen, I'll fully admit, I haven't seen a lot of straight up Santa Claus Christmas movies.
Sure.
But I think from my limited experience...
To be honest, I would say that should make you in a worse position because a lot of that was kind of trope busting. So, really, if you enjoyed it without being a Christmas film fan, the whole point is he wasn't fan. He wasn't jolly.
Yeah, he was too.
He was kind of badass. He had a sexy wife.
Sexy wife. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was fine, but at the same time, there's very little outside of Kurt Russell.
Oh, 100%. I mean, without him,
it's 100% a Kurt Russell show.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't like Kurt Russell, you're probably not going to enjoy this.
But then, how many films with an adult and two kids are you like? Oh, those kids were great.
Yeah, this is true. These child actors.
I'm not go back to Jumanji to watch the children.
All terrible.
Or Jurassic Park. Like, the kids are just there to.
Yeah,
get
I mean,
business.
basically, we enjoyed it, and you should probably go watch it before listening to any of the rest of this because we're definitely going to spoil everything right now, as is
Yeah, so in fact,
what this show's about.
we'll do this on the assumption that people have watched it, so we can
Yeah.
just discuss things.
Yeah.
So, okay, she has a video camera.
Yeah, she does.
We open on video camera footage of each Christmas from, I think, 2006 onwards. In
Yeah,
2006,
2006 onwards.
I refuse to believe in 2006 you could still buy a camera with a fucking cassette tape in it.
Yeah.
I've had a DVD camera since then.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they clearly had the money to not have to deal with shitty camera products, but I mean, I guess it kind of fits a bit better having like tapes rather than like slinging discs about.
You say that, I don't know if that's true, because actually, that's a kid's film. If you're 12 years old,
Well,
now,
yeah.
have
But
you
then
ever
that-
seen a video?
True. I guess that's a fair point. But then I feel like the movie kind of struggles of which side of the like, is this a kids movie or is this supposed to be like a fake kids movie, but it's actually kind of for like, it's kind of actually for adults. Because there's a few points where it's like, that's a bit strange to be in a kids movie. Like the chainsaw.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The change, yeah.
Yeah, like
Put a pin in that.
yeah, there's just a few points like that I'm like, I'm not sure which side of the line this wants to be on.
Yeah, but then I do wonder, is it not because, like, you get films that have shit for kids and stuff for adults, and then when
Yeah,
you watch
well,
it as an adult, you're like, hold on. But then actually as a kid, you just don't even notice.
Like watching like the old Earthworm Jim cartoon.
Well, other than that, I used to watch Naked Gun with my dad.
No, okay, yeah.
And
I
I just-
mean, that's.
I just
there's
missed-
definitely no point to that.
I
It's
just
supposed to be
missed.
for kids.
I know, but what I mean to say is, I just missed all the dirty stuff. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just thought it was
Yeah,
funny. I just
I
thought
mean,
it was
I
funny
guess.
that she had a stuffed beaver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also used to watch Die Hard and Lethal Weapon with my dad. Actually, we watched a lot of shit that we shouldn't have when I was quite small.
One of the first ones I remember watching when I was quite young. I mean, I say quite young. I was probably like, 12 or so. But Starship Troopers
Wow.
with my dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great movie. It stuck
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan. So yeah, like you get like what 10 minutes maybe of like establishment at the beginning that's like, hey,
This family
we're
loves
seeing
Christmas.
all these Christmas videos. The dad's fully about it. He is loving life. You get the establishment of like the family creed, which is like, what was it? Pierce always sees it through,
Yeah.
which is strange, but very clearly wraps back in at the end, like you'd expect.
So we just get a little. It's like the start of Up. Like we get a little kind of like.
Yeah.
We get a huge chunk of these people's lives from birth to present day. In fact, now that I think about it, how fucking old is that boy meant to be? Because it is 2006, the first one you see, and that kid is like tiny.
I mean,
Is he meant to be 12 years old?
no, because sure he's able to drive.
Exactly.
What do you? Oh,
But he's not old enough to drive. And in America, you can drive at like 14.
Oh, okay, 14.
Yeah. So he
Oh.
could be
okay.
meant to be 14. Some states.
But then,
I don't know about Massachusetts, but
yeah, that's a fair point.
so is he, how old was he supposed to be?
I mean, I just assumed, hey, it's a teen, so like 15, but like, even that's too old because he's still bombing about with like a skateboard and like.
Yeah, I'm really bad at gauging the age of.
I mean, it's hard to judge with
Young.
kids, especially kids in movies.
I mean, he's definitely not as young as
although,
he was playing.
did she not say it at one point in like one of the full on like, here's everything you need to know about our relationship scenes? Was she not like, I'm a 10-year-old girl and I'm really upset with you, my 15-year-old brother or something?
Maybe.
There was some shit like that at one point.
But yeah, their dad's dead.
Yeah,
you seemed really upset by the reveal that their father was.
Yeah, I just
deceased.
like. I mean, I don't know if I'm more upset that it's because I haven't seen that guy in anything since Rules of Engagement, and like his whole involvement is about like the first 10 minutes of this movie. It's just like video footage of him enjoying Christmas, and then it's like, oh, he's dead. It's such a bleak way to start a Christmas movie. Like, yeah, dad's dead. Everything sucks.
He looked terrible as well.
Yeah, everybody looked plastic.
Yeah,
Um,
except for Kurt. Kurt looked great.
Kurt looked amazing.
Someone else looked amazing, but we'll get on that.
There's so many teases. Who knows who it'll be?
So their dad's dead, and really life's fallen apart very quickly. Like, how long was he meant to?
But that must be. I mean, it must be like a 6-month period.
Well, exactly.
Or something.
Yeah,
because it's definitely between Christmases.
Yeah.
Between 2017, 2018.
Yeah. So he's died at some point, and maybe he died days after Christmas. But you think they'd bring that up? So it's like the tree isn't decorated, and the house is really bleak. It's like fucking apocalyptic.
Well, this was it, because like you start with just this girl sitting in her front room, nothing decorated properly, a tree up.
Yeah.
House looks empty apart from that. There's furniture and stuff there, but it's like
Christmas Eve.
She's at Christmas Eve, sitting watching her videos.
Hold on, I just thought about it. That's set in the future. I didn't even put two and two together.
What do you mean?
It's set in Christmas Eve 2018.
Oh shit! Yeah, right enough. Aye.
So for all we know,
Never even thought of that. Maybe the apocalypse is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good point. I didn't even consider that at all. Not that it really changes anything. It's like, hey, this is coming out in 2018.
No, but I mean,
it's about Christmas Day.
I'm going to be a bit more cagey about mocking it. I'll stay on the nice list.
I mean, yeah. So like, she's just watching her videos, reliving past Christmases on Christmas Eve on her own, and then
Can we discuss the mother?
oh, dickhead mother.
She's awful. So this is established as the first Christmas since their father died.
First Christmas since Dad died. She's not there in the morning.
No. And then she comes home, complains that her children are fighting.
Yeah. Shouts at the lad and is like, "Stop being a dick."
We've missed the
We've missed the big
fact
point.
that the wee girl tails him.
Yeah.
Katie tails Teddy.
Katie tells Teddy Bear, Katie Cakes tails Teddy Bear to catch him
boosting a car
and drinking one beer with his friends, while all carrying skateboards around in the snow.
It's the middle of the day as well. Do you go joyriding in the middle of the day?
I mean, apparently it's all right behind a 7-Eleven.
It was a deli, I believe.
There's a deli, and that's apparently all right. And again, the camera being the big, like the main point of the movie.
Her video camera.
She's got a video camera videoing her brother.
Yeah, boosting a car with his pals.
Cut to dinner time. Mum's finally home.
Sister covers for brother, having threatened to dob him in with her evidence, and then gets a phone call and instantly is like, "Oh, I've got to go back to work. She's only just come in. When does she sleep?"
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, they make it out like it's an emergency, but blatantly somebody's just rang in sick because there's no
some can't be bothered coming in to work
Christmas Eve.
I'm gonna get it. Times are hard. Her husband's died.
Yep.
We thought a police officer at first killed in the line, but it later transpires he died in a fire.
So we think he was a fireman.
Yeah. Now that I remember it, I think the badge was kind of fleur-de-lis style as opposed to star style.
But the thing is, like, Mother doesn't really give an excuse. Like, she takes the phone call, she's like, "Oh, is there really nobody else?" And then just turns around and is like, "Yeah, I gotta go to work because these people don't have anybody to look after them." It's like, you've 2 kids, who's looking after them?
What's interesting with that, right, is it's a criticism that I think it's just like, Deus Ex Machina, let's get her out of the house.
Yeah,
Doesn't
we just
matter.
need to get rid of her. Yeah.
But like, Home Alone, the original Home Alone, goes to so much length to show you why it's happened.
Yeah.
It's not just, we forgot in the morning. It's everything. It's, we binned a ticket, Fuller spills the Pepsi.
Yep.
So they bin a ticket, so they don't have a spare.
Yep.
The power goes out, so that the alarm clocks don't go off, so they're rushing. Kevin is bad, so he's put in the attic, so he's not downstairs with them. There's dozens and dozens.
There's a lot of setup.
When they're doing the head count, the neighbour kid is looking for the stuff, so he gets counted at the head count.
Yep.
There's like 4 or 5 moments where they could have. It's kind of
perfect, which is solid.
It's perfect storm stuff. Now maybe it's also kind of like covering yourself too much, but it's kind of the point is just.
Yeah,
so that you're not sat in the audience and go, well, how do you manage to leave your kid behind? It's like, well, all these reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Whereas that, it's just like, I'm just back in from work, I'm exhausted. Oh, sorry lads, off I go.
Yeah, that's why I feel like there just needed to be like there was a massive crash and we need all hands on deck.
I mean, not even that. You could have, frankly, broke the timeline. Have her come back in the morning and say, "Sorry guys, I'm working tonight," and then cut to a couple of hours later when she's leaving.
Yeah,
up.
okay, yeah.
It just need to be like she was literally just back in from her work.
Yeah, she
was turning back around to good again.
Yeah.
And then when she gets in the morning, Christmas morning, she's like, "Oh yeah, sweet, yeah, let's get stuff." She'd be dead.
Yeah, like, why aren't you tired? You literally look exactly the same as when you left.
I appreciate she's a struggling single mother, but at the same time, she just seems unpleasant. Very judgmental.
Like, they throw a lot out to be like, hey, this mom just works all the time, she's no time. Like, the wee girl's like, yeah, I make dinner like 4 nights a week before mom comes home, and I do this and I do that. Teddy does nothing because he's a dick.
Yeah. Fucking Teddy.
Fucking Teddy. What a dick.
I think his name's Theodore. Or Edward.
Yeah, they look like a Theodore.
Yeah.
But he hates it because he hates his mum.
So mum goes out and wee lassie's looking through her videos, literally, and catches glimpse. After her parents set up a camera in the living room. Why did they set a camera up?
The parents are literally trying to video themselves bucking in front of the Christmas tree.
But then they decide, oh no, we'll go upstairs. Why not take the camera with them?
Yeah.
It's really weird to set up a camera, a tripod.
But the thing is, right, basically the shot that the camera's set up in catches Kurt Russell's arm coming out to set a present down.
Sure.
But literally a second after they'd left the room, like, they wouldn't have got up the stairs yet.
Yeah.
So he's already in there dumping presents. And like I can't remember if there was a time. There was bound to be a time.
10:35.
It was 10:35, not the one that they caught him later.
No.
Oh,
that's why I said what they did. They caught him 10:38 later.
It was 10:38 later. You're right. Yeah,
it was weird. It's like, so he turns up at the same time every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He's got a schedule.
Fair point. Yeah. So like 10:30, the parents are trying to buck and video it on Christmas Eve, and not wake the kids up. And they catch Santa Claus's arm. Kurt Russell's arm sticking out to put a present down, which then sets off a strange scene of like, let's set up a lot of traps to try and catch Santa.
Yeah, they kind of Home Alone it.
Yeah, it really is. Like, they drill like the doorknob out so that they can set a camera up in it so they can hide in the closet and stuff, and like,
and it's not
bells on a rope, and
it's never really established how it is that they get away with this, because the brother says to her, "Oh, you don't think anyone's tried this before?" Like, and she's like, and her response is, "Yeah, but they'll think it wouldn't work, so no one has tried it before."
Yeah, it's like, oh, you gotta believe.
Whereas, because she's caught his hand, she reckons. But yeah, like, quite clumsy work from Santa.
Yeah.
Like, he knows when the parents have left the room down to the closest second, but can't tell.
Does this come back around to the elf on the shelf?
Or because they blindfolded the elf on the shelf. Is this a thing?
We're not 100% on this. We're not 100% on the elf on the shelf thing. I'm only kind of going based on, like, you know, seeing random shit from America, like pictures and stuff, but like, I think the elf on the shelf is supposed to scare kids into being like, you better behave, and
Sure,
the elf will tell
eyes...
Santa.
Okay, so they blindfold the elf, thus
blinding Santa?
Santa's comms system.
Like, I don't know for sure,
also,
but that's what I'm taking.
Also, to be honest, I would say, given the sort of vaguely Willy Wonka-esque ending,
true.
Is there not maybe a suggestion that actually Santa deliberately...
Yeah, it's all one big setup to
left
save
them?
Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Because he got his letter. So, and also, Teddy isn't nice. So he wouldn't have got that present had he not done the thing.
But then the implication being that, like, is Santa's job to go out and save every kid that's not nice?
Similarly, Santa had already been. That's the point, because they wake up and their traps have been set off.
Yeah.
The jingle bells have jingled, the footprints are there,
Yeah.
and they rush outside and see him hopping from rooftop to rooftop. And in fact, he does stop and stare at them briefly for a second. So
That's
I
true,
do wonder,
actually.
is in fact the whole point of this.
But
I wonder that we've not understood this movie.
Yeah, have we not?
Is the whole point that, well, we can present it
I mean,
as,
is this because she's the true believer?
Yeah, and Teddy's the only one in the family who isn't, so he's winning him back. I think we've not understood this movie.
But then is
I
like,
think we've not understood this quite basic Christmas film.
yeah, like, is it then because Teddy sent a letter anyway?
Yes,
even
so,
though he doesn't believe.
look, you're teetering on the edge, Teddy, so I'm going to win you back.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's a nonsense
God.
setup.
Have we not got a kids
Because
movie?
it's established that the hat thing was bogus.
You should not watch our videos ever because
So,
we don't know what we're talking
Everything
about.
from the hat moment. So, okay, they find a sleigh, they jump in, Santa comes back, they take off. She taps...
Also, before this, hold on. Santa in this, and again, because it's probably a setup, Santa is like hovering his sleigh at like head height
really
on the
low
road.
down, yes, for no reason.
And like bouncing between rooftops. Like she climbs up a
he
tiny
stops, he
pole.
looks, yes. So they then get in, she grabs Santa's shoulder, he loses his hat, jumps
Presents
into hyperspace, they come out from his quite cool like wormhole thing where you see
like
landmarks
landmarks
racing
everywhere.
past you.
Yeah.
His sack falls out and then they crash. The reindeer escape. Yes, very, very good. His bag of toys falls out. The reindeer escape, the sleigh is smashed up, and up he comes.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
We've misunderstood this film.
I think we might have.
Because what then happens, Santa's like, oh shit, this is going to be tricky, but I can fix this. I'll go get the reindeer, then I'll go get my sack. No, I'll go get the sack because that'll get my elves. They can fix the sleigh. I'll go get the reindeer, and then off we go, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
You two go home. He even says it to them. He says, you two just go home, I'll sort it.
Yeah, even though they're in like 1,000 miles away.
Yes, because they're in Chicago and they're from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And then he tries to jump and can't jump and claims it's because he's in his hat.
But
But it's established at the end of the
can.
film that the hat... Because I wondered, what's the point of that revelation? But the point of that revelation is that that's a lie. He's Willy Wonka-ing them.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing's a setup.
He's taking them on an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it's still weird that it's this one kid that he's trying to save, but I understand. Yeah, we've not taken this in properly.
And in fact, the more I think about it, the very last scene of the movie also confirms this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We've entirely...
We've not understood this film.
Don't listen to us. at all.
Santa's just having fun. Because, and in fact, it gets deeper. Because they
We're
go into a restaurant
Idiots.
to try and borrow money to get a cab to the sack.
Which is pretty good, in fairness.
Yes, very good scene. Kurt Russell, genuinely incredible in this movie. And then the police are called because they steal a car outside.
So basically, Santa goes in and is like showing his knowledge of all these people in the bar, being like, "Oh yeah, Sally G, you loved toys when you were a kid. Here's the toy that you wanted on your 6th birthday." Some of them believe, some of them don't, and then it starts the whole thing like Santa can just magic presents out of his pockets.
Yeah, which again we thought was a plot hole. It isn't a plot hole at all.
But no, well, we didn't think it was a plot hole. We just didn't understand the basis of it because
I thought it was a plot hole.
no, well,
Why is
'cause
he languishing
we
in
thought,
jail?
Like, no, well, we thought it was like, oh, well, could you maybe just pull out only the gifts that they wanted, and then that scene happened later that made us realize, like, oh, well, then that's not the case. So what's the deal with his magic? But it turns out he was just fucking with everybody the whole time because Santa Claus is a ballback.
So yeah, they drive away in the car they steal outside the restaurant.
That was
already
stolen from a stealer.
Yes. The police pursue them.
We've got this movie so
No,
wrong.
I like this film's a lot cleverer than we are. The police catch them, and again, this makes the whole police subplot make so much more sense because that's actually what Santa's up to. Yes, he's giving out presents, but he's also fixing shit. So the two police that catch them, one of them, played by the fantastic Lamorne Morris,
He was wasted in this.
massively underused,
Wasted.
Lamorne Morris, sees the reindeer take off and escape with the kids whilst they're arresting Santa, and the other policeman takes him back and is interrogating one-on-one because Lamorne Morris is too busy telling all the other cops
He's too excited.
that he's seen reindeer fly, and Santa tells him that his ex-wife wants to get back together with him.
Yeah.
Like repeatedly, and presents him with all the presents he wanted as a child.
So is it like...
So he's fixing people. He's doing everything. He's Ebenezer Scrooge.
He's just going around. Yeah, he's just going around fixing
There's
everybody.
no jeopardy at all. Well, except for the fact that at one point the kids almost die because when they find the sack of toys, 3 street toughs kidnap. They find the sack. The little girl crawls into the sack to go to the North Pole.
She goes through a wormhole to the North Pole to meet the minions. I mean,
Santa's elves are incredibly cute.
they are, but the problem is I can't see anything like that now without being like you're trying to cash in on like how popular Minions were.
They're very toyable, but then the Netflix movies release.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking. I don't know if they would get released as toys.
I mean, there's plenty of Stranger Things merch. It's not like they're above merch.
Check while you're talking here, just to see, just in case. They might not be out yet though. Well, I suppose if it's just released, maybe.
So she goes to the North Pole, meets the elves, but whilst she's in the sack, which gets you to the North Pole, her brother's being dragged to a chop shop, which on Christmas Eve has got about 25 to 30 bad guys in it.
Yeah.
Who are going to throw it. Oh no, yeah, he opens up the sack and they're all excited because it's full of toys.
I don't.
Do you need me to use another word than sack?
No, that's not what I'm laughing at. Look, that's what came up.
Jesus Christ.
That's not right. There's some. I don't. No, you know, that's. It's not appropriate for anybody.
Yeah, so I wish I hadn't seen it. Yeah, so Santa's in the clink talking to the policeman whilst she's at the North Pole.
Santa's spending a lot of time trying to convince this policeman that's not Morris
that he has to get back together with his
ex-wife and like save his Christmas,
and
while gurning loads about how Christmas spirit's going down and if it feels it's going to put everyone back in the Dark Ages.
Yeah, we failed to mention the fact that earlier on Santa informs the children that the Dark Ages were caused by. But there's my question about the mechanics of this: is that he said, you know, sometimes Christmas spirit doesn't happen, sometimes I don't get stuff done.
Yeah,
it fails. They're like, oh, when? Is it, oh, like, do you remember what he says to them is, do you remember learning about the Dark Ages and all those wars?
Yeah.
So does that mean he didn't get it done in like the 40s?
Yeah.
Or is he just talking about the Dark Ages? Because, not to get too history nerd, but there's a lot worse periods of human history.
Yeah, I mean the implication of that would be that like all the wars that only started on Christmas Day because Santa didn't deliver presents. If it's not talking about the like, Dark Ages specifically.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
It's a bit ambiguous.
So he's
basically Santa Claus the Dark Ages.
Yeah. He's chatting to Dave the Postman. She's in the North Pole with the elves, and she's like, oh yeah, we need to get back to fix
She
the
finds
sleigh.
out that she's a true believer.
Oh yeah, they got a book,
like
of true believers. It gets a little bit too messy.
I mean, I assume that then that's why you get the whole bit at the beginning with the dad that it's like, oh, he's super into Christmas because he's a true believer.
And in fact, she
finds this leads to like the biggest problem I have with all Santa Claus based Christmas movies is that it's clear in the movie that Santa Claus delivers all the presents, but yet none of the adults believe in Santa. But yet all these presents just appear and
yeah,
the adults don't
I've
question
always
it.
taken that as, well, they'd never bring it up because it is a plot hole in Santa films.
Yeah.
But I've always just kind of taken it as, it's like
you just write everything off as magic.
Well, but it's like Muggles accepting what they see in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You just see number 12 and number 14, and you don't see. In fact, no, it's number 12 that they don't see in Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see the thing that's.
Yeah, I've seen Harry Potter, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I've always just kind of taken it as that they don't really see, or they think as soon as you stop believing, you think you've bought it yourself.
Yeah,
somewhat undermined by like the Santa Claus movies, the Tim Allen movies.
I've seen them. That's a Christmas movie I've seen.
Have you seen the two sequels?
I didn't know there was two sequels.
They came out like 15 years later. Like,
is it still Tim Allen?
Yeah, they're very
unreal.
They are far better than they need to be.
Wow. Maybe watch
their
Santa Claus movie.
Oh, fuck you. Well, then we definitely watch Santa Claus.
Santa Claus movie. Spoilers. We're going to watch a Santa Claus movie.
They're so good. I mean, they're not like terrible, but like. Like
I like Tim Allen.
Martin Short plays Jack Frost.
No, yes, I'm in. I'm in.
What's her name?
Fucking love Martin Short.
Lassie for Archer.
Lana?
Yeah. What's her name? At least, Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter.
I can't remember.
She plays like Mother Nature.
Oh, we're watching
Michael
this.
Dorn plays Sandman. Oh, fuck, it's so good.
Okay, we're gonna watch that. That's a good one. Where were we at? Yeah, so she gets to the North Pole. She meets all the elves.
Finds a letter
from her brother
from that year asking to meet their dad again.
Also, that's a point. She's trying to video like we're going very back to the very beginning of the movie, but she's filming herself filming herself with like her Christmas request to Santa at like
on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
But then I do wonder, is that actually a thing now? Because actually, if you had kids, that's quite a cute thing. You know, you have to write your letter to Santa.
For me, I think it was always like you had to put it up a bit before because the point it gives mum and dad a chance to get stuff.
The timing of the whole thing is terrible. I remember one year, because I was clearly suspicious, I refused to let my mother see my letter to Santa, and I demanded we walk to the postbox together so I could post it. And I think she literally had to like fake it out at the last minute.
That's nice. A bit of sleight of hand.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because I was obviously quite suspicious. But yeah, she records a video to Santa, and then she touches a button at the North Pole, and all these videos from kids turn up, her amongst them. But I do think, to be honest, I think kids these days probably do record videos to Santa, not on Christmas Eve. But actually, would that not be kind of nice when your kid hits 18? You can be like, oh, look at all your little cute...
you're a nerd. Look at all these videos of Santa. Yeah.
I mean, we're filming this pish.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. We're not. We don't.
So yeah, a letter from her brother being like, "I'd like to see my dad again." Elves me to
I want to see my dad one more time.
You're a true believer. Everyone in your family's a true believer.
They never They're always like, "I want to tell him that and they always cut out. They cut it out every time.
That's true. I suppose it's to try
and he doesn't finish it at the end.
To make the ending.
Yeah, but he doesn't finish at the end. Like I was expecting it to be like he just wants to tell him that he loves him. Or he just wants to tell him that I believe, but he doesn't do that.
He does tell me he loves him.
He doesn't.
He says, I love you to the bobble.
No, he doesn't.
100%.
Does he?
100%.
Oh, I don't fucking remember. I missed that bit.
It was the moment that we paused it when your father arrived.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you weren't back in because you were still gurning.
I was still gurning. His dad was making fun of me. Yeah, so she sees the letter. She sees that her brother really does still kind of believe in Santa. He's just a bit of a bad egg.
I mean, a car.
And then we get the best fight scene of all time.
Yeah, so like they're gonna the toughs in the chop shop, the Christmas Eve chop shop, which has got genuinely 40 people in it.
No, but when they walk in, it looks like there's only 8. But by the end of the fight scene, there's like 40 odd people running out of the.
And yeah, so they throw Santa's sack into a furnace after opening some of the presents to find only coal.
Yeah.
A very cool...
Presents all changed coal. That was pretty good. I like that, I have to say.
And so they throw the sack into the furnace. He breaks free Teddy, grabs the sack, comes out.
Quick side note, but if they're opening the presents, which aren't labelled for them, and it turns into coal, why does it matter which present box they throw into which house? Because the present contents clearly change based on who's opening it.
Is it not only true?
Is that just good or bad?
If you open a present not for you, you get coal.
Good or bad? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't care about finding plot holes in this movie. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but no, I would assume it's just because they weren't for them. You get coal.
Oh, okay.
So the thing in there is the thing. But yeah, I mean, they never address the fact. I mean, there's plenty of any Santa thing.
Yeah,
it's
magic.
There's tons of plot holes in Santa things, which is we see evidence that some people are getting cars, literal cars.
Yeah,
in Santa,
yeah.
And some people are getting like. I mean, fuck it. At the end of the movie, Teddy gets a Christmas bauble.
Yeah, so fucking raging.
Yeah. So there's no. It's not established. It's never really explained in Christmas films why poor kids. Why do poor kids get shitter presents from Santa?
Yeah, there's so much put down to like magic and shit.
You should say it's about tax. What do you need to say? How much tax you pay is how much Santa gives you. Anyway,
Curtis will be upset. Let's not mention tax.
So he grabs the sack out. And the head chop shop guy tells his toughs to get rid of Teddy, throw him in the trash, and then what does he say? He says, not the recycling, compost him.
Yeah, because compost him, yeah.
It's a very strange, weird. Does that mean they're going to kill him, or just make sure you put him in the smelly bin?
Yeah,
but at that point the presents begin to spill out of the sack because the elf crew are like coming through to like kick some ass. Yeah. And you gotta, to be fair, I'll give it. The elf fight scene was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. The elves, by the way, are like a foot tall, like little furry things with massive mustaches, pointy ears, tails. They look like kind of skinny Furbies.
It'll be like, what do you call them, desert rat things, with the tails and the big ears, and they all speak Elfish, but it's like a weird Scandinavian.
Sounds like a Swedish chef.
Yeah.
And then once they've chased off, and that's the only time you see how many bad guys there are, because when the shutters open, dozens of them flee.
Yes, there's so many.
And Teddy's been hiding under a desk, and the elves spot him, say like, "Oh, we missed one, bring him here." Drag him out, pin him down in a star shape, and one of the elves fires up a tiny little chainsaw and begins to approach his crotch. And he's like,
"They're going to chop his balls off."
Cut him clean in half.
This is what I mean. There's like so many little bits like this that like clearly not kids, but like
like they're
he's going to chop his dick off with a
split him in half
chainsaw.
like a piece of lumber.
It was like a James Bond death trap.
But luckily, Katie arrives in time.
Of course, because again, it's a Christmas movie. We don't need mutilation in it.
So to be honest, I've somewhat lost at what point, because it keeps cutting back to this, but we'll now address Santa has failed to convince his police officer to reconnect with his ex-wife, and so Santa finds himself in a jail cell.
Yeah. Which is arguably the best bit of the movie.
A holding cell, more accurately, because
Yeah.
he's in there with a number of people, and there is a partition wall and 4 women in the adjoining cell standing in a line.
Yeah.
And Santa, having sat there for a while, decides there's not enough Christmas cheer in the world, so conjures up a number of musical instruments. At first on the justification that they're gifts he once gave these people as children,
Yeah.
but then it's established he can just produce whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Which is why I began to... Because he gives a guy a trumpet, and the guy says he's never played a trumpet in his life. I have to say, that moment struck me as racially insensitive, shall I say.
Yeah.
Didn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Hey, you look like you should be able to play a trumpet.
Yeah, and then he just had... Yeah, very strange.
I can't play a trumpet. I bet you can. Just give it a go.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
I'm sure you can take enough from that way you need to.
It's a little bit...
It's a little weird.
Oh, here you go, Andrew.
I don't get why it couldn't have just been like
Anything.
him as part of the band. That it was a weird like
Here's a guitar.
guitar
Yeah, that was odd.
trumpet band.
But anyway, he hands him all musical instruments, and then a musical number breaks out. And the 4 ladies in the holding cell become his chorus line, which again...
All wearing sexy, like, Santa outfits.
I was about to say none of them get instruments, but that's not true. One of the ladies gets, like, what do you call those jingle bells?
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
What do you call them bells that jingle?
One of them gets jingle bells, but I sort of feel like, oh, okay, ladies, you're the chorus line, and here...
Yeah, because she doesn't have a microphone either.
all
Like,
the
she's
men-
literally been
yeah, it's just
relegated.
like all the
And I
men-
didn't, like, I thought she was somebody because I didn't see her before. I just saw
the
4
chorus
girls,
line, yeah.
and then she was just there with the bells.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just weighs into, like, a big
It's a great musical number.
great musical number, which is pretty impressive, and I enjoyed it.
Kurt Russell can sing.
Yeah, I
But then
enjoyed
all
it.
the police come and watch through the bars.
Yeah.
This massive musical number.
Oh,
They've all suddenly
what's
got...
going on?
There's a drum kit and a piano, guitars,
Yeah.
a trumpet, a chorus
And
line. Their outfits
appropriate
have
lighting.
changed. Yes. And what happens is the police all watch this. Lamorne Morris goes, see?
Yeah.
And then they all just leave.
Yeah,
Like
everyone
none
leaves.
of them hang around to ask any questions except for our main guy. I believe his name is Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Sounds right.
And
Dave's just kind of like, but tell me, how did you do that?
he accuses him of being a Las Vegas magician.
Yeah.
There's a point at which being a cynic just makes you seem incredibly...
Yeah.
Like, how you actually have to be quite credulous to be incredulous about what you've just seen.
Yeah.
But then, his phone rings in his... Well, in fact, that's not true. No, it is true. At that point, his phone rings in his pocket.
So
Dave's does.
Santa's like, hey, you should answer that.
Yeah. And then it's...
He gets the conversation, and then it's his ex-wife who invites him for coffee on Christmas morning. She's like, hey, let's go for coffee in the morning. And at this point, it's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
ish, I think.
Yeah.
But she invites him for a coffee on Christmas morning because apparently that's something that people do.
Single people might.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. I don't like coffee.
Ladies.
Ladies.
So I'm very ill.
Yeah, and then you get...
But the point is that at that point, after his wife phones him, it's like, oh my god, it really is you.
You are Santa.
One of the elves, with the chainsaw elf...
He opens the cell first. The policeman opens the cell first.
No, that's not true. The chainsaw elf cuts out of the
Oh,
ceiling.
right, no, sorry,
Cuts
you're
out a
right,
vent
yes.
in the ceiling
Chainsaw Elf has a purpose, finally.
And then the policeman opens the gate and Santa's like, oh, cheers, man, I really appreciate that. That's all I needed. And then clicks his fingers and he swooshes up at the thing. So...
Because he got his hat back, because at this point we didn't realise entirely that it
That's
was
true,
magic.
He drops the hat down
hat,
to
which
it.
he said is the problem, that why he couldn't use magic.
That is true.
Because he didn't have his hat. So the elf throws the hat down and is like, yo, Mrs. Claus said you should have taken a spare.
That's true.
And then he gets that, click, away he goes. Out the vent anyway.
And we never see any more of Dave or Lamorne Morris.
Yeah, it's such a waste.
Lamorne Morris was totally
Morris
He was very funny and everything. His excitedly telling all other cops about seeing the reindeer fly, his dancing along with the musical number. Yeah. But yeah, like really
just wasted.
For being like the fourth billed person in that movie. Bizarre.
Yeah. Wasted.
So Santa is dejected even once they've escaped because he's realised there's only an hour left and there's never going to be enough time to get everything delivered.
Yep.
But Teddy, inspired by the words on the penknife that his father gave him as a child.
Pierce always sees it through.
A curious American custom, but anyway, they convince Santa they can indeed do it, and they have at it delivering presents. And then the elves get involved. It's very straight again. If you're up against it and you have a resource, why don't you use it? But anyway, they get a bit to everything. The elves all start delivering presents one at a time. They get it done. Then they realise that the tubby elf... Actually, we've missed this out entirely, but obviously Kurt Russell's in quite good shape for his age and makes frequent references...
Yeah, there's a lot.
Frequent references to how it's terrible that everyone thinks he's fat. I have to say, in a kid's film, that's very interesting. And then there's the fat elf who just eats candy canes the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's stuck the pages of the book together, so they've missed the little girl in Mexico City. So Santa arrives there at the very last minute, having base jumped out of the sleigh. And sits as a cookie, and she comes in, and he meets her, and then jets off, and hooray, we've done it. We haven't even mentioned the reindeer.
Yeah, the reindeer is such a massive point, because they all, as soon as Santa realizes that there's, two kids back in the sleigh that have snuck in near the beginning, he loses his shit. And they go straight up and straight down, and the girl falls out, everything falls out.
Almost get hit by a
jumbo jet. And then as soon as the bit holding the reindeer in place smashes off, they all fuck off. Which we made frequent comments that these he's had a long time to train these reindeer, but clearly they're not trained. They just don't give a fuck. But then there's points where Kurt Russell send the wee girl out to pick up the reindeer. Yeah, you go find them, it'll be fine. And then she finds them and they all listen to her.
Whilst she is sent off into the streets of Chicago alone.
Yeah, on her own.
To gather the reindeer.
Midnight.
Whilst Santa and her brother go cruising in the
Charger.
Dodge Charger that they've stolen. And they have an awesome car chaser in the streets of Chicago. And then, that's how they escape in the reindeer. But yeah, it's the reindeer are good. They're CGI, obviously.
Yeah, no, the reindeer are pretty good. I'll give it. Yeah, the reindeer were fine.
They're magic. It's fine. They interact. Yeah, love
them. And then he gets Teddy to drive the sleigh at the end, and the reindeer just all listen to him again because he believes. It's so have you set up the reendear being like, hey, listen, I'm gonna...
To be honest, I'm rethinking my interpretation of
this whole film. It could very well be.
Because now that we've established that it's a Willy Wonka...
Like, he's set the reindeer up to be dickheads.
So that she has to meet them and convince them, and, oh, no, it's fine, I'm a true believer. Everything's okay.
I mean, yeah, it could be. Are we slowly gaining Christmas spirit? Are we believing?
Maybe.
Are we becoming true believers because of this
incredible
film? Oh my god.
So yeah, Santa drops them back home. It is established that he does not need his hat because he gives his hat to Teddy.
Yes, and he can just do magic whenever
he wants. Which
is when we kind of started to doubt a little that...
Yeah, so the whole thing's
it was a setup, which now we're certain of.
This is like the fucking Usual Suspects. Like, it's pulled off something on an equal scale.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. You can use magic without his Santa hat.
Yep.
It's also been established that Santa doesn't say ho ho ho.
Yeah, that's
so the little girl's reward, about her only reward really, is that he says ho ho, like he kind of like tears out with the reindeer, then comes sweeping back through, and like really angrily screams ho ho ho, kind of like fucking badass, kind of like ho ho ho, and off he goes. Mum comes home.
Yeah, Mum's immediately there. Like, he hasn't left that long, and she pulls up.
They're hugging outside. Their relationship's been fixed.
Mended.
She's all excited to see them. They go in, and the house is decorated, which it wasn't.
Santa's last present to them was to decorate it just as their dad would have decorated it the Christmas previous.
That whole thing doesn't sit right with me, to be perfectly honest.
I mean,
I'm not 100% comfortable with this film's attitude to... Like, the mother, on repeated occasions, uses their dead father to essentially blackmail them into...
Dad would have wanted you to do that.
Yeah, your father would want this place decorated. Your father would want you to... Like, well, he's dead. It's just really... It's a very horrible thing to do.
Especially to the little girl who's, like, 10 years old. That's a bit much. But then the girl... which was part of the problem with her, and I don't think, as far as child actors go, I think she was okay.
100%, yeah.
But they flip a lot between, like, this little girl is older than her years because she's looking after the house and she's making dinners and she's supposed to be the mature one, but then also having her be like, I'm a kid.
Her age is established. She is almost 10.
No, she's almost 11. She's
there
10, almost 11.
Okay.
Because that was part of the conversation
right,
at the beginning where
he was like,
I'm 10, almost 11. Like, and they set up like the big thing at the beginning.
So he's not meant to be. He's not meant to be 12, is he?
No, he's definitely older than that. Hold on.
Because 2006 is the first Christmas we see, and it's just the two of them, just mum and dad. So it's not 10 and 12.
No.
If he's meant to be 12, he's fucking older than I am.
No, there's no way.
He had a hard paper route, that laddie.
He has a hard paper route. Let's see. Okay, so
I mean, if we're going by actors' ages, that's...
They're 2 years apart. Are they?
The characters.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2006. The first video, it's just the two of them, mum and dad, alone. 2006.
No, wait, hold on. Jesus Christ, there's so many kids in this to play these, like, two kids.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of kids at the start.
Hold on, right, so there's... Oh my god, right.
Skinny worms.
Teddy... This isn't going to help. So there was an actor for 3-year-old Teddy, 5-year-old Teddy, 8/10-year-old Teddy, and then the Teddy
Okay, so in fact, is it conceivable then that 3-year-old Teddy is 2006? Meaning he's 15.
Yes,
and
so
she's
10
10.
10 and 15, but
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a bit
That's
closer.
the gap between me and my sister.
That's great. That's a bit closer to what we thought. Well, because I said 15.
I'm trying to bring some personal...
Andrew's a sister, and that's the same gap that they have.
She's older than I am, though. So we go in. You're a very unpleasant boy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go in.
Sorry. You go inside, the house is all decorated, Mum's emotional.
We get and establish about the kind of difficulty of Santa presents.
Yeah.
Which is that the wee girl opens... The thing is the point of that not... Is it not nudge nudge wink wink? Is it not supposed to really be... Because the exchange, actually, what happens is the wee girl opens her Santa present, and it's a skateboard, and she's really excited, and her mum's like, oh, what kind is it? Does the bullshit production of, oh, I've not seen this before.
Yes, but again, Mum hasn't been there to put presents under the tree.
But the point I'm making is that not supposed to actually be a kind of inside joke? That's the bit for the adults. It's the bit of you have to go through the bullshit production, which is kind of hammered home because Teddy picks up his present and she says, "Oh, I didn't think you were good enough this year for Santa present." And he said, "Yeah, I must have got it in the last couple of hours."
But then that's probably again because like this is a Christmas movie for kids.
Yeah, well, I know, so but I don't know that it's
they
actually...
have to like buy into that same
I don't know
thing.
that it's actually the plot hole that we think it is, because it's because actually you would say that to your child, if you thought... And again, are we not just supposed to believe that parents think they bought the presents?
Yeah.
But obviously he opens his present, and it's a Christmas bauble.
Yeah,
she says...
Just a gold bauble.
Oh, that's nice.
I
suppose, nice. If that's meant to be, that's kind of a... If she thinks she bought him that, she's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well done, son. He must be. He was an arsehole, in fairness.
But again,
Car
like,
thief.
at the same time, she's like, oh, coincidentally, there's that gap up there where that would exactly go.
No, but then again,
Yeah,
I don't think we're getting the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
She's left a gap, but then she didn't decorate the tree.
She didn't decorate the tree.
But still, there's a
Yeah.
gap for the thing. It's all symbolic. Anyway, when he hangs the bauble up, he sees his father in the bauble.
His reflection morphs into the reflection of his father.
He tells his dad he loves him, and his dad responds saying, "I'm proud of you," and then he fades. So he got his last wish.
Because that's all he wanted.
So again, though, it's weird that this film doesn't seem to be able to figure out what era of technology it lives in. Because actually, that's fundamentally just a video.
Yeah.
Like, so...
Because we thought, because of the whole carry-on the whole way through with this camera, that she was videoing everything that went on during the night. She was taking videos of Santa and stuff, and then Santa took the video back at the last second. So what we thought was going to be was like a lost video that Santa had, like a far, like... Oh, the dad was doing a home video before he went out to get murdered by fire.
Or the dad who was a wee boy being like, all I want is 2 kids, one called Kate and one called Ken. Yes. But actually, no, it was a bauble that gave him a fleeting reflection of his dad saying, I'm proud of you.
It's like something from Harry Potter.
Do you remember the episode of Star Trek Next Generation?
Nope. Fuck no, man. I've seen a lot of it, but I couldn't tell you
That
specifics.
show is a hot fucking mess. But there's one
Wait, is Next Generation the woman?
No, it's Picard.
Picard still? Okay.
The woman.
I can't remember her name. Janeway?
Yes.
Janeway?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, you could have phrased that for future reference.
What?
Was it the one with the woman captain? Just with with the woman.
No, but like, you know what I mean when I say the woman. I didn't need the extra word.
Sadly I did, yeah.
Like, there's only been, now there's been 2 women captains, hasn't there? Because Discovery.
You see they're thinking about, we shouldn't.
Nah, fuck it, I don't care. Nobody's watching.
You see they're talking about giving,
The woman that died in Discovery.
yeah, but then was replaced.
Oh no, she didn't die. No, she did.
It's her evil twin.
Her evil twin, yeah.
She's getting her own. What's her name? Michelle Yeoh.
Yes.
They're talking about giving her own show.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be
But
terrible.
then are they still continuing Discovery? Oh.
They've got they've got their Captain Archer. They've got their Spock. He's got a beard.
Do we really need 2 series from the same universe at the
Well,
same time?
Deep Space Nine and Next Generation ran concurrently, and then Deep Space Nine and Voyager ran concurrently.
But was Deep Space Nine not...
on a space station?
No, ahead? It wasn't in the same timeline, was it? I always assumed it was a different timeline.
They only overlapped a very little bit at first because... but no, they did overlap. Next Generation and Deep Space Nine were running concurrently. Then Next Generation, but the reason they did that was because Next Generation was transitioned to films.
No, I get that they were running
And then
concurrently,
Voyager...
but like...
No, they were the same timeline. But, but then it didn't matter because Voyager obviously was lost in space, so it didn't matter that happened at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's why there's like... the Deep Space Nine uniforms... I'm going to get this wrong, but there's like a thing of... they differentiate the uniforms really quickly, and they do it by... some bullshit justification, so they're not actually wearing even the same clothes as each other. To kind of make them look different.
He's trying to separate it.
Anyway. The Christmas
I don't even
bauble.
know what the point was.
Christmas bauble. Oh no, I was going to talk about Next Generation, the hologram of his dad.
Right, okay.
That's what I was going to talk about. And in fact, the hologram of Bing Crosby's daughter when she dies. In the first season of Next Generation, the security officer is a lady.
Okay.
Tasha Yar. And she dies towards the end of the first season.
Alright.
Because she wasn't particularly happy with her place in the show, and it was a terrible television program in the first season. But they then do this kind of like attempt at really heartfelt, we're going to rig every ounce of emotion at this, because she, for some reason, in fairness, she is a soldier, so I suppose maybe it's quite clever, has recorded a personalised holograph message to each member of the crew. So basically, for an entire fucking episode, you just treated them sat watching her and be like, Captain, I really loved you. You're wonderful. Diana, you're fantastic. Will, good old Riker. And it's like, this is horrible. Like,
that's strange.
Yeah, she's killed by a big puddle of black sludge.
Of course.
They also, because they couldn't figure out how dark they wanted Next Generation to be, so like, there's explicit references to her being grown up on a planet which was ravaged by civil war, and there were rape gangs going around,
Right.
and it's just like, oh, this is like really dark for this quite light,
very unnecessary.
this quite light show. Anyway, we're talking about a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Next
I mean,
generation.
we're
though.
practically
Am
done.
I right?
Practically done, I suppose. The only thing left to talk about.
So, we had been discussing amongst ourselves, because Mrs. Claus has been mentioned a number of times.
Yeah.
After the crash in the car chase, Santa's like, if you ever meet Mrs. Claus, maybe don't mention this bit.
Don't mention it. Then we thought we'd maybe get a glimpse when Katie Cakes went to the North Pole to meet the elves. We thought, okay, this is going to be where it... No, still nothing.
Claus.
Still nothing.
So we're thinking, okay. And then obviously, Kurt Russell is not a young man.
No.
So...
But we still kind of thought it was going to be like some inappropriately young model.
To be honest,
like 21, 22.
To be honest, I can't believe I didn't realise from the very start who it was going to be if there was a Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
But you see Santa sitting with a number of elves curled up asleep on top of him.
Updating his book with Teddy's name.
Updating his
True Believer book.
Yeah, which, I mean, the more I think about it, they've just invented
It's
that
just
wholesale.
cult.
It's not a naughty, it's not a naughty or nice list. It's naughty, nice, and true believer.
Yeah, it's like a whole... Yeah.
You've got to pay your way through to get into the upper echelons of this essentially cult. But anyway, Mrs. Claus comes home and they make a big deal of not showing her face.
Yeah.
And she's speaking at first with kind of the elvish accent, which is interesting as well.
Well, yeah, because she's speaking Elvish originally, yeah.
And then obviously...
And then it kind of fades out.
Obviously, it's Goldie Hawn.
It's Goldie Hawn?
Obviously, it's Goldie Hawn. And I can't... I mean, it hadn't occurred to me until the moment they didn't show her face immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, of course it's fucking Goldie Hawn.
Which is fair.
And then she's like... really, very sexually aggressively says... asks him if he was naughty tonight. And he's like, oh yeah, but in a nice way. And then she's like, oh, so what are we going to watch? And then list a number of Christmas movies. He's like, no, I know what we're going to watch. And then produces the video that the little girl's been filming the whole way through. So,
this will get her in the mood.
Santa gets his rocks off by every year kind of fucking about, cutting everything down the wire, getting kids arrested and shit. And then... So the video camera is obviously incredibly important because she's filmed... But I would point out that the car chase wasn't videoed.
No, it wasn't.
Most of it, anyway, because she had it when she was getting the reindeer.
Yep.
So maybe he was legitimate when he said he didn't want Mrs. Claus to know.
I mean, the only stuff really that would have been interesting that she filmed was like
she filmed Santa a lot.
Him flirting with the waitress girl.
Yeah.
like there's not gonna be all the super exciting bits. There was no filming of like, oh, we got to get all the presents out really quick at the end.
No, because she was too busy. Yeah, it's just gonna be lots of shots of Santa flying past,
like his double chin. From underneath.
And then him hitting. Well, he wasn't hitting on the bar.
No, he wasn't. But
the maitre d'. But is it still a maitre d' if it's a lady?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't really know what maitre d' means. Is that hostess? I mean,
sure.
they're
woman,
entirely American.
The woman showing people to their seats.
Entirely American thing.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Kurt Russell was fucking amazing.
Kurt Russell's great, and there's a lot of like good lines from him that are like from Christmas carols that he's like portraying as like cool badass lines.
Yeah,
that work really well. In fairness,
selling it. Like, Kurt Russell basically just does a John Wayne impression. That's basically what Kurt Russell's entire thing is.
Yeah,
but it really works.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it as somebody that doesn't particularly enjoy Christmas movies apart from Love Actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm one of them. I'm fully on board the Love Actually train. But yeah.
Most of it's terribly creepy.
Yeah, I know, but I really like it. Like the whole Andrew Lincoln thing.
Yeah, it's like
it's nonsense.
Predatory
There's
stalker.
no reason for it to be there. Oh, it's great. And then your mom that goes to like America and like bangs everybody.
No, but the thing is,
comes back.
That's kind of fine because that's kind of like bawdy 70s. Everyone's consenting there. He says, I've got a sexy British accent. He gets off, he goes to the first shitty airport bar. He meets
all the hottest
and then fucks 4 incredibly beautiful women. And that's preposterous, but at least everyone's having a good time.
You can come stay with us, but we have no heat and we only have one mattress between 5
that's
of us.
That's very funny because it's sort of playing into preposterous. That's fine.
Great.
Like, actually, the Chris Marshall story is one of the few that has no issues with it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's a great movie.
Do you think Alan Rickman fucked the lassie or just gave
Of course he did. Of course he did.
But this is really interesting because
Actually, no. In all
massive,
fairness, I don't.
it's a massive debate.
No, I don't think he did. I think it's just a case.
I don't think
I think it's a case of just banner stuff, and he likes the whole being wanted thing.
Yeah, I don't think he fucked. I think that's. But I mean, it doesn't make it worse. But it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you fucked her or not because you're buying her shit.
Yeah. Sounds familiar. But
I don't know what that means.
No, but I can't. I'll tell you after.
Oh fuck!
As soon as it was mentioned, I was like, "Wait, hold on."
We can't mention that. But
but as somebody, as somebody who doesn't particularly enjoy Christmas and the like,
except for the objectively worst Christmas film.
I don't know. I don't know how it became like a tradition, but it did. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Kurt Russell's great. I would watch many a Christmas movie with Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. As you said, you'd like to be a yearly thing.
If they churn out a couple more of these, I'd be perfectly happy. I'd like Goldie Hawn to get a bit more action. The elves were cute.
Yeah, I didn't hate them as much as I thought I might. As soon as I saw the first one, I kind of got immediately annoyed because I thought, like, oh, this is just another Minions type caching because I wanted, like, people elves.
Yeah, but I don't
know. I'm all right with how they did it.
I don't know if that exists in Netflix movies nearly as much because you're not putting trailers up on TV for them. Yeah. So there's not really a kind of, like, saturation.
I think it worked.
I do think that the tone wasn't wrong. But I do think with a very few changes, you could have made that an adult.
Yeah.
Or a more adult.
Yeah. I mean, it very much went along the line. Like, you could flip it either way with just a few changes. Like
Kurt Russell at one point stands up in the interrogation room and bends over to demand to know why everyone thinks he's got a fat ass.
Does this look like a fat ass to you?
Oh shit! That was and in fact, the moment you claimed was your favourite was during the car chase when he screamed, "I've traded in 8 reindeer for 400 horses," and laughs maniacally.
Phenomenal. He loves it, which made me love it.
Yeah,
there is bits of that kind of banter that are genuinely good. I like it works. Yeah. Kurt Russell's Santa works, and you should watch it because it's good.
And I think. I do worry slightly that the cute little elves don't come in early enough for kids to find that too delightful a movie.
Yeah.
They're quite late in the game, but then actually, maybe I'm wrong because there's a lot of slapstick and smashing into shit.
But like we're saying, like kids, but like realistically, there's going to be it's aimed at kids old enough that the rest of it would keep them interested.
Yes, and then you get a wee cute payoff at the
end. Yeah, I think so. But yeah,
I liked it.
Christmas Month, Christmas Chronicles.
It's a terrible title.
It's a terrible title. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. Like, we had trouble finding it earlier because we didn't even recognise the thumbnail. It was just the kids looking at each other, and it was Christmas Chronicles, and we weren't sure because we did our best to avoid everything that we could going in.
Yeah, I'd seen the trailer, had read no reviews. I've even avoided like Kurt Russell was on Graham Norton like last week, I think.
Really?
Didn't bother.
I'll have to watch that. But yeah, that's Christmas Chronicles.
Do you think the Chronicle references the fact that she was filming it all? Much like the movie Chronicle, which is a found footage.
Oh my god. What if there's a sequel that's going to come and it's like...
It's just the found footage version.
The found footage version? You know the way they're doing like the slightly edited Deadpool movie?
It's fucking terrible how much you and I did not understand this film the first run through. Thank fuck we talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
I'm deathly ill.
Yeah, that's it. Great Christmas Chronicle. Kurt Russell's great. Goldie Hawn.
Merry Christmas.
This is the start of Christmas month.
I'm going to pledge right now that we're doing 12 of these.
We are definitely not doing 12 of these.
There's 3.
I'm not going to edit 12 of them, and we're never going to have the time to do 12 of them.
There's 3 Santa Claus movies.